Good evening, folks. Welcome to Leichhardt Oval, where we're going to see the Cronulla Sharks take on the mighty West Tigers. I am Snicko Balbroa, joined in the box by our commissioner, I believe he is at the moment, Will Kay.
Yes, Snicko, thank you for that. It's not like I haven't been the commissioner for the last 4 seasons or anything, but it is a very...
haven't you?
No, I haven't.
Nice to meet you.
As Leichhardt Oval tonight, it's a packed out crowd here for the West Tigers v Sharks clash. I'm very excited for this one. I think we'll get some good footy out of this game.
Yeah, I'm especially excited to see the Sharks try and back up last week. They had a dominant win over a pretty big heavyweight in the Bulldogs, whereas the West Tigers went down to a welterweight, perhaps you'd say, in the Roosters. But of course, it's a new season and we're all sort of jostling for a bit of a hierarchy at the moment. How did you see last week, Will?
Yeah, I mean, the Sharks, they were huge, I thought, with that 40 points. Ethan Goodwin, he's put everyone on watch in that one jersey, scoring 4 tries. The Tigers, bit lackluster. They actually went down by the hand of Sienna Mata'us, who left the club. So we're looking for a win here tonight, just to, get their first for the season, the Sharks. They've got a lot to prove tonight because you think that the West Tigers, they'll be out for vengeance.
Yeah, it was one of the Roosters players who said it best. What's the matter, Oos? After he kicked that field goal, it was a superb kick from him. A couple of field goals last week, actually, a few close games, and hopefully we get another one here as Eli Barr makes an early line break. We'll just run through some team list changes quickly. Holy smokes. I think that was an offload that's gone backwards off of Sharks, and the Tigers going to keep the ball.
Oh, you'd hope so, because otherwise Luke Thompson has just done his absolute worst in that play. Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Very luckily for the Tigers, and a bit of home crowd bias there. Yeah, so team list changes. Riley Murray into the 13 for the Tigers. I think that's his first start at lock, so we all wait with bated breath to see how he'll go. Tim James back into the hooker jersey that he made famous at the Raiders. And they have a new centre as well, I believe, Will.
Yes, they do have a new centre tonight, and I would love to know their name. I think it's Ewan Mayava, has slotted into the left centre role with Brown out to the right wing with Marks on the bench. So good stuff there from the Tigers to see whether they can make it click tonight.
And they put together a nice little set here. It's going to be out to Riley Murray, and he doesn't want to kick. He's just going to try and barge over Riley Murray. He's going to get there. No, he turned on his back and made it out from the line. I'd like to see more there from Daniel Howier. That was his chance to sort of make his mark early on the game, as now Anthony McDonald goes for a bit of a gallop. And yeah, this man left the Broncos, moved to the Sharks. A few people weren't impressed with his recruitment, including you, Will. I saw the grade that you gave them. But last week showed that, yeah, maybe he does know what he's doing after all.
Well, by no means was the grade to say he doesn't know what he's doing, but, I mean, they did... Getting 3 good wins is a big task, and there was a reason that most captains weren't keen on it. They didn't do a whole lot outside of Brad and Ethan that I'd say is going to contribute largely to success. But as we saw last week, maybe those 2 signings will be enough just by themselves.
I think they actually got 4 good wins, not 3. And if you're the Roosters, you're calling that a good season. As now Sam Lillard goes for a bit of a run. He's going to be brought down 49 metres out from the line. Oh, bit of a flash forward there. Anyway, now Barner. He was at 10 last week. He's moved into the 8 to play the 55-minute role, of course, with Riley Murray in the 13. We'll have to see how he goes as now Murray takes a hit up. He's brought down some good defence here. And I think one thing that Anthony McDonald has brought to this Sharks team is a bit of starch to the defensive line as Ben O'Donnell breaks a tackle there. Last season, the Sharks, they could put on points. There was no doubt about that, but they often leaked them. And last week, only 18 points to the Bulldogs is pretty impressive as now Howier goes downfield.
Oh, jeez.
Taken by Michael Crimp, and he goes straight past one. He's in a foot race now. Oh, he's done well to stay in field there. I thought Eli Barnes was going to shepherd him out, but unfortunately for the Tigers, the Sharks still have the balls. Now Delaney goes to Barisic, and Delaney, for a man in a team that scored 42 points last week, didn't he have a shocker with the boot?
Yeah, no, Delaney, that was a bit of a stinker. He was doing his best TBK impression. And yeah, they need to have him a lot more in his game tonight if they are to beat the Tigers, because I think the class of Daniel Hellier may be enough just to overcome them if he's going well tonight.
The class of Daniel Hellier, year 8 you mean?
Yeah. Oh
no. And Hannah Hitchens has gone straight up the backside of one of their players. It's going to be the man himself, Hellier. He's still got the Bulldogs headgear on. And I tell you what, they needed him last week, struggling to score points, and a good chance here for the Tigers if they can get a bit of direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And hell yeah, the Tigers' headgear just hasn't quite arrived yet at his doorstep. I'm sure he'll be getting on shortly as David Barner. Good run there.
Yeah, Riley Murray absolutely smashed there by Anthony McDonald. And A-Mac, we know that he can get the hit stick out. And no, he misses one there. So 1 for and 1 against him as Lillard's going to fall over closely. And yeah, I tell you what, Anthony McDonald is pushing his case for further honours here as now they go a short ball to Riley Murray. He's unable to go over there. Just compressing this defensive line here, the Tigers. What will they do next? They go another short ball to Barner. He's held up in the tackle. So 5th tackle here. Hell yeah on the right. That's where they go. He puts up a very, very well-placed bomb. Eli Barnes lurking. But no backpack. Instead, it's Thomas Usher. And doesn't he get some dance moves? Straight past a couple. Unfortunately, though, brought down. I think it was Ben O'Donnell in the end. As now they go short side. Declan Connell. Big dummy. He could be a bit of a low-key recruit of the season, I think. He was tremendous last week. And he's been waiting for a starting spot for a long time, Will.
He's Shakti as well on the back. The back line is just putting on a bit of a show now for the Sharks.
Yeah, and it stops with Delaney there. You're right. A nice little run there from Shakti. Now Kausuke gets it. Goes right up to the line before he passes to recent kangaroo Brad Goodwin. I didn't have an impressive tour as now the Sharks. They go to Kausuke again. They're going to be in bomb range here. Looks like it's Delaney getting into position. Hold on to your hats here, folks. Not a bad kick in the end. Very well placed here. If they can just get the bat back. No, instead it's Eli Barnes. He's going to be forced to maybe, stop the meter out from his line, but if there's any place you want to hand over the ball, that's probably it, Will.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good high kicks so far, but the fullbacks from either team able to defuse them defensively. It'll be interesting to see whether they keep on going for that attacking route or maybe they try something along the ground shortly, because there's been a lot of bombs and a lot of bomb defusals.
And they're just going to their superstar here, Eli Barnes, his second line break of the set. Dancing feet going straight through the Sharks defensive line, and they're going to want to stop that because you know how good he can be if he gets the ball. Now Jeff Keane is brought down about 20 metres from the line, so the Tigers now have a chance to kick. Probably not close enough to go along the ground, so it's going to be a bomb. A 2-pass out to Hellier, and that's another well-placed bomb. Ethan Goodwin doesn't want to bar of it. No, he's into the backfield now. Ethan Goodwin, can he go the length? Hellier's chasing. They get to the 40. Half on fullback. What's going to happen here? He's going for the corner. Hellier with a tremendous chase brings him down. The Tigers get back on side here, and the Sharks, if they go right early, they're going to streak. No, instead, Henry Hitchens gets over, I think. Surely there was no knock on there.
No, I think Hitchens has got this. He's just checking the grounding. Keane coming across and giving a high five, but just enough momentum for Hitchens to be brought over the line. And it was a fantastic run from Goodwin. A great tackle from Hellier to stop him. But then just a defensive lap. The Tigers not all back on side yet. And there's the green light.
Yeah, every season the centres just seem to be getting more involved in the SRL as they get more skilled. And that's just a perfect example of it. They're treating defensive line, and Henry Hitchens just sliced through to give the Sharks the early lead here. And this is where they were comfortable last week. They got in front, they just never relinquished.
No, sure didn't. As good slot there from Delaney to make it 6-0. And just talk about Ethan Goodwin. He had a great game last week, and that's a fantastic run to start his match. He just took that bomb on the full, and he went through untouched. So that chase from the Tigers, it just shows that there's a lot of unawareness defensively of where the ball's going to go and where their players are. That needs to be fixed up if they are to come out on top tonight.
Yeah, really, it was lucky that it was a 2-pass, so Daniel Hoyer was sat back in the pocket. Because if he wasn't there, no one was going to catch Ethan Goodwin. He had a little bit of a head start, and I got there eventually, as now Delaney goes to Anthony McDonald, who's going to push forward here. And I think you're exactly right. The Tigers just need to be a bit more aware of what's going on. If the ball's going to go up in the air, you need to have 2 or 3 men chasing to make that tackle. As now Goodwin goes for a bit of a run. Brad this time brought down on the 25-metre line here. Sets after points are crucial in the SRL. We all know this is Kausuke gets into a fend off, and that's turned it into a good one already. Brought down about 45 metres out from his own line. They got numbers right here. Instead, it's Drew Matthews who goes for a run. Thought that was a bit of a high tackle, but that could just be because Matthews is a midget. Now they're going to go from half again. Ethan Goodwin, what can this man do? Absolutely everything. Kausuke now gets a fend off, and Kausuke is going to score the Ethan Goodwin try assist. I'll tell you what, there's a bit of a feeding frenzy. The Sharks smell blood in the water.
Yeah, geez, the Sharks just going back-to-back tries there, and Ethan Goodwin, he has been having quite the game in the last 2 minutes.
He fend off. No one.
No
He
one.
went straight through.
Yeah, untouched. Daniel Hellier actually turned around. He said, I don't want to even try and tackle him, and he did just that. A pretty easy try for Kalsaka. I don't think he's going to get an easier one than that in his career.
Yeah, a bit of ironic about that. Untouched by Kalsaka. Now Delaney. Probably a pretty easy kick. We know that things can get a little bit tricky, but this one's about as certainty as you can get. And that's 12 points early for the Sharks here, and yeah, pretty handy lead, you'd have to say.
You know, certainly a handy lead there. 12-0, 15 minutes in the match. It looks like it was going to be a very close clash early on here.
Did it?
Yeah, with the way it was going, you know, end-to-end footy.
Still 15. We're only 15 minutes in. This is early on.
Yeah, could you let me finish?
Oh, yeah, if you ask nicely.
Thank you. No, it looked like it was just going to be a bit of a back and forth, a really close clash, and the Sharks have gone bang bang. It's the right of reply now for the Tigers.
Yeah, we talked about a set after points, and a perfect one for the Sharks as Matthews gets out again from hooker. I tell you what, the marker defence for the Tigers has been just about non-existent. A try from Hannah Hitchens, Ethan Goodwin got out.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no, that's a mistake, and this could be the lifeline that the Tigers need to get out of the water and back on land here. As now it's going to be Jeff Keane. Have you seen the other guys, Will?
The other guys, the movie.
Yeah, who would win the fight between Sharks and the Lion?
Oh.
They're going to take the 2 here, Tigers.
Righto. That's an interesting one.
Just get some points on the board early.
Yeah, sorry. Who would win a fight between a shark and a lion?
Yeah. Are you aware of what I'm talking about?
Nah, I can't say I am.
That's okay. You should Google that one when you get home from the box.
Okay, I'll have a look. I have seen the movie, I just can't remember that specific part.
Yeah, Will Ferrell's specialty, and I tell you what, the Tigers are not laughing at the moment. Down 10 points and taking the 2. It's a bit of a mystery to us up here what's going on, but should they win by 2 points, we'll call it a masterstroke.
Yeah, I don't know. If they win, yeah, like you said, if they win by 2 points, maybe it will be genius. But at that stage, in that field position, you'd think you'd try and push for a try. It's certainly an interesting call that's come from the sideline there. I'm not too sure why Riley Murray went along with it, but I guess we'll see whether it pays off.
Yeah, I guess he will. It's now a pretty good defensive start here for the Sharks here. They really gifted the Tigers those points. First the head pass into the Tigers and then the offside penalty. Maybe 40-20 here. No, they're going to go short side. Goes to Ben O'Donnell. He gets a little break here, Ben O'Donnell, so sort of rescued him there. They're going to be able to punt here and put on a bit of pressure with any luck as the wingers drop back here. Hellier gets in the pocket. There's a few in front of him. Oh, and he threads the needle perfectly. Deander Shaq the Unknown. He's had a few good runs already this game.
Oh, jeez.
He wants another one here. Shaq the Unknown going for a bit of a trot downfield. He's going to go at least, you'd think, 70 metres here. He's still going here, Shaq the Unknown. The fullback dives. Wow, Shaq the Unknown carving the absolute pieces. Are we going to see Hannah Hitchens from half again? No, Drew Matthews now goes to Delaney. And he's brought down 4 or 5 metres from the line here. All the momentum with the Sharks now as their interchange props come on the field. He goes to Declan Connell. He's going to barge over here. No. He spent some time in the forwards, knows how to get down. Now Delaney, that's a handbrake if I've ever seen one. All the players beside him were in front of him. So instead the Sharks here, they're just going to reset here on the 4th. They go to Barisic. Oh! And he gets absolutely levelled by Sam Lillard. So now it's down to a kick. They go Delaney. That's a reasonably well-placed bomb, but there's no one there for the back. Uh-oh. Foot race coming. Riley Murray, unfortunately, unable to get away.
You know, good set there from the Sharks. The finish, I mean, they're lucky that Riley Murray had someone marking him, but the chase from the Tigers on their kicks, on their punts downfield, it just hasn't been good enough. That's a couple times now we've seen some big meters off them. Actually, that's 3 times now that we've seen some big meters off them. So they really need to tighten up in that aspect because that's where they've gotten their first 2 tries.
Yeah, if you could just check for me, please, Will. Tell me who's on that left centre and left wing for the Tigers because, yeah, they really need to mark up.
Left centre, I know for sure is you and Mayava. I think the winger is Ben O'Donnell.
Ben O'Donnell. Yeah, both of them deciding that attacking is probably the only thing they're going to do tonight. Hopefully they can fix that in the second half because, yeah, like you said, the kick chase has just not been there. So now Ethan Goodwin gets a chance.
Geez.
He's going to go for a bit of a run here. Ethan Goodwin. Eli Barnes has been absolutely put under all kinds of pressure at the back. He's made a lot of tackles here, and it's going to limit his effectiveness in attack. You have to think, as now the Sharks, once again, oh, that was really nice there. Long ball. Once again, the Sharks are in attacking position, and they're going to go for the jugular here. Kalstikow's brought down 15 metres from the line. They go left to Delaney. He goes to Goodwin. He beats one. Push backwards there, though. The cover comes to bring him down. In a good two-man tackle there. Set up left. They go right. Out to Kalstikau. He's not going to get a fend on. Pushes forward. Brought down over there by Tim James. Now they go right again. Out to Bobby. He goes inside to Goodwin. Oh, I thought that was a try. Instead, Ethan Goodwin's going to be out of commission for the last play. Where do they go? I think it's Delaney on the left. And they go to him. He puts up a bomb. Looks to be a bit shallow. There's no one out the back again. This back business is not good for the Sharks at the moment.
Oh!
But Crimp's going to go through. Crimp. Oh, I think he's knocked it on the try line. He has. Wow, Zach Brown cleans up the scraps, and that's a try going absolutely begging for the Sharks.
Yeah, Crimpy just needed to get into the corner there, but Jeff Keane coming across and making that tackle. A try saver there from the Tigers. And that is exactly what they needed from him in the number 12. So close there, but no cigar for the Sharks. Slight improvement for the Tigers, but again, big meters off a kick return.
Yeah, and you get to an 18-2 lead. You think that's almost unassailable. So great work for the Tigers to save that try. And they just need a bit more awareness of Sharks. Ethan Goodwin, twice he's been out of commission on the 5th play, and they're still tapping back to absolutely no one. It almost cost them the first time. It cost them a try the second time. So if they can fix that up, they're going to be absolutely deadly. As now the Tigers, for the first time in a while, make a stop, and he goes out to Barisic. He's brought down the 25-metre line here. So maybe the Sharks can try and the Tigers, can put a bit of pressure on. No, it's Ethan Goodwin again, goes for a bit of a run. And we didn't really touch on the interchange props. So Justice Daly and Special K coming on for the Sharks against the relatively inexperienced Nepo Baby and Tyler Keane, perhaps?
Tyler Keane, yes, his debut match tonight. So it'll be telling, won't it, as to see what we can expect from him.
Yeah, hasn't he walked into an absolute bloodbath? Not the time you want to start your SRL career. Actually, reminds me of when I played for the Warriors. Anyway, he goes now to Declan Connell. He goes downfield to, I think that's Zach Brown it is, and Hannah Hitchens doesn't make the tackle. Ethan Goodwin was absolutely nowhere. Brought down eventually by
Anthony Delaney.
Left centre of the Sharks. Delaney it was, and now Eli Barnes is going to go for a run. Ethan Goodwin's decided he's also only going to play attack tonight, so both teams lacking a bit. Now the Tigers finally in some field position. They go to Ewan Mayava. He's brought down 2 metres from the line. And the Tigers with a chance to hit back here. Hopefully they don't go for a penalty and take the 2. He goes to Hellier. He's pushed backwards now on the 4th tackle. Not a whole lot going on there. A big line out to the right. Where do they go? Exactly there. Goes to Ewan Mayava. And a bit confused there as to what's going on. But they have a chance for a kick. Hellier deep on the right-hand side of the ruck. They go to him. He puts up absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's a Blues level play there from Daniel Hellier. That's shocking. Just 5th and last. Your team's finally gotten down their end. They're relying on you to make a play, and then that happens, and then Crimp goes for a massive run.
Crimp just went past Eli Barnes like he was not even there, and just like that, all the pressure's back on the Tigers. The run meters for some of these players at halftime is going to be absolutely extraordinary. As now Barisic is brought down. One thing we haven't seen is either of the left second rowers get a line break yet, so maybe that's still to come. As now Delaney goes out to Wakabayashi, and he goes boom straight past one. Eli Barnes has to make yet another tackle. We'll just about have 20 at half time. The Sharks in good field position again. I reckon they go to Barisic. That's where they go, but good rushing defence there from the 12, Jeff Keane. Just keeps them out of range of a grubber. Looks like it's going to be Delaney on the right-hand side. And he knocks it on. That is actually EU form from Anthony Delaney. He did it all international season. Hellier was unable to really fix it, and he's brought it back to the Sharks.
Yeah, no, that's a shocker there from Delaney, and 2 halves on display tonight to try and get a spot in the Blues, and both those back to back.
Second half is yet to come.
Oh, thanks, mate. But both of them just pull it up very much short. I'd like to see maybe a kick get at least a metre and it not be knocked on.
Yeah, it's just one of those games here. It feels like as Lachlan McKinnon does what he does best, runs straight at the opposing 12 when he's tackled. big chance here for the Tigers to really lock in on a kick chase. They're going to go down to Michael Crimper. We've seen what he's done tonight. Been absolutely electric, and he is brought down a good tackle there. So that's exactly what the Tigers needed. 8 minutes left in this half. They just make sure the lead doesn't get any bigger than it already is. They're going to be in with a chance in the second half. But say this gets to 18 points or, God forbid, 24 points, you just about put a line through this game.
Yeah, it would take a monumental effort for the Tigers to come back if that was the case. So it's already going to be a task. They don't need any more problems, and that'll help them out a bit, but they've got to complete this set.
Yeah, Michael Crimp with a great run and just got a bit overzealous with that pass. And yeah, 10 points in the scheme of things is really absolutely nothing in the SRL. So they wouldn't be too worried at the moment. But yeah, another try is going to make things difficult as McKinnon goes for a workman-like run there. Brought down 30 out from the line. Now he goes to Hellier, and he chucks a long pass out to Nepo Baby. Nepo Baby brought down about 18 from the line here. They're going to have 2 more cracks to Tigers. They go to Luke Thompson. He goes to Tyler Keane. Brought down here. Chance for a good kick here for the Tigers. They're in pretty prime position. They go to Daniel. And that's a very well-placed kick here. Ethan Goodwin underneath it. And unfortunately for the Tigers, that's a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, I mean, time and time again, Daniel Hellier, he's had the opportunity on the last to make something out of it. And either get the ball back or put a lot of pressure on the Sharks. And time again, he has failed tonight. So he's not having the game that he needs to have. And, at the end of the day, his role is that 5th tackle option. He's not meeting those quotas.
Yeah, not great, we'd say, as Ethan Goodwin goes for another line break. He's going to have some insane stats, you got to think. Even if you just take this half,
it's huge.
He doesn't do anything in the second half. He's still going to have insane stats. That's how good he's been. His Declan Connor goes for a hit out. This would just about be the Sharks' last chance with the ball here, and as they go to Wakabayashi, and he's absolutely monstered by Riley Murray. So the captain for the Tigers trying to get things going, where the Sharks are just on a roll at the moment. They go out to Barisic now, and he's brought down a good tackle there. I think it's Luke Thompson who got him. 20 or so out from the line. They have a chance to bomb here if they feel like it. They go to Kaus again. He goes for a run instead, gets the offload to Drew Matthews. Riley Murray jumps on his back and brings him down. Bit of a waste there from the Sharks. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication.
Yeah, I'm not too sure they knew it was going to happen, but they've just taken the foot off the pedal a little bit here. And they seem a little bit disorganised on that last. The Tigers, they could maybe do a better job of holding them out of that position. But for now, their defense on the line is doing okay.
Yeah, as Eli Barnes goes for a bit of a run there. Nice little line break for him. He's just about been the shining light here for the Tigers in attack and defense. Without him, they'd be in all sorts of trouble. Just about the only one making consistent meters. And yeah, good defense as well. As now Tyler Keane is brought down. And once again, the Tigers just can't get into the Sharks' end off their yardage set, which is where the Sharks are really killing them. Last time the Tigers would touch the ball this half, you think Luke Thompson, not going to really comment on what that was because I have no idea. Michael Crimp, though, was unable to break anything. And with a minute left in this game, you got to think this is all we have time for.
Yeah, Lee, just about it. The Sharks will probably end up with the ball here. It's interesting that you say he's done just about all the attack. Eli Barnes for the Tigers, he's done just about the most tackles as well, because that's where all the players are ending up in the backfield. It has been a very poor first half from the Tigers, and they'll get a couple tackles here. Maybe they can score a try just before half-time.
Yeah, they'll get 3 tackles at best, you got to think. So they spread it straight away out to Zach Brown. He's brought down a good tackle there by Hannah Hitchens. Michael Crimp gets involved. Maybe a little chip and chase here. Could we see something interesting? Tim James for a bit of a run. We haven't seen this for a while. Tim James pretending he's a lock and going downfield. Is he going to have time to play? Yes, just. Tigers in field position here. David Barner goes for a run. And an ankle tap by Ethan Goodwin saves it. That's half time. 12 points to 2. See you in a jiffy.
I'm just waiting for Kiss Cam to come on. On me. It's not happening. Do you like it? Do you like it? The environment here. Do you like the footy? Yes, we're on. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah,
You're not you when you're hungry.
This is an amazing
Snickos.
reception that we've received.
Hey SRL fans, want to support the league further? Join the Simulation Rugby League Patreon. Get exclusive access to additional content, early access to league releases and supporter-only giveaways and upgrades. Whatever you're looking for, we have something for every fan. When you become a Patreon, you're more than just a spectator. You're a crucial part of our team. Your support helps us keep delivering the high quality matches and content that you love, and it ensures that we can keep the SRL experience growing for fans of all ages. It's super simple. Head to our Patreon page, pick the tier that's right for you, and you're in. Every bit of support helps us grow and makes the SRL an even better place for everyone. Now, back to the game.
Welcome back here, folks. We're still at Leichhardt Oval, and we have some very interesting stats to bring you. Cronulla Sharks with 8 errors at half-time. The West Tigers, 13 out of 13. You see that in the scoreboard, and you think the scores would be flipped, but no, it's still the Sharks in the lead. Up 12 points to 2, and yeah, pretty outstanding stat sheet. Ethan Goodwin, 230 metres already.
2 try assists.
155. Yeah, and 2 try assists for Ethan Goodwin. So the fullbacks definitely lighten this one up. And where do you think this game could be won or lost here for the Sharks?
Oh, that'll not help as Jamal Kelsicow out the gate with an injury there and drawing the tackle. And the penalty. I think he was checking up on him. I'm not too sure what's happened there. But I think it may be maybe it's going to be the fatigue of the Sharks. That is not good.
Yeah, the subs rotation will have just gone out the window for the Sharks. I'm not sure who's going to come on into the 13. Surely it's not Henry Hitchens. Were they subbed off?
I'll have an answer for you in a moment. And I think Hitchens would be the one coming on, yes. Cal Sarko actually moved to left second row, so Hitchens will be in the left second row for the second half. That could be big.
That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad.
And it does mean that Justice Daly will be back on the field later in the match, I believe.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see how that one pans out. Who's at lock then for the Sharks with this change?
Jasper Goodwin.
Yeah, right. Interesting play there, the half primary. I suppose we look at the Tigers, they have a half primary and Willie Wishart starting a prop in this half. Oh, as Luke Thompson gets folded there. Is that Anthony McDonald again? Yeah,
it was. Of course it was, mate.
Yeah. Brad Goodwin knows how to put on as well, but yeah, Anthony McDonald, I'll tell you what, halfbacks and 5'8", they're targets for the props these days. When they run the ball, bad things seems to happen. As now Riley Mully goes for a bit of a run. And yeah, so Willie Wishart playing prop as a half primary versus Jasper Goodwin as a half primary playing lock. So a bit of speed injected into this game. We'll have to see how each of these pans out. Of course, Declan Connell with the ball right now. Oh, gets absolutely levelled. That's not pretty. And David Barner, I think it was, that got him. I was going to say Declan Connell sort of made the half into proper lock famous for the Dolphins over the last couple of seasons, and now happening in this game all around him. So how things change as Jasper Goodwin goes out to Brad Goodwin. So is Beck Goodwin on the field yet?
Is who, sorry? Beck Goodwin?
Yeah.
Yeah, on in the centres, I think, where Hitchens came off.
So we have 4 Goodwins. Oh, there she is, missing a tackle. 4 Goodwins in this game at the moment for the Sharks for the next 20 minutes at least, as Zach Brown's brought down there eventually. As Willie Wishart, there he is. Goes to Barner, who gets absolutely levelled there. I think that was Brad Goodwin himself. I told you both these boys can do it. The Sharks props getting things done as Declan Kennels brought down a good tackle there. And yeah, a bit of violence in this game here. Someone woke the sleeping beast and the props have come to play.
Yeah, huge hit there from Brad Goodwin. And geez, it could be hard, running out of your own zone now when you've got both Anthony McDonald and Goodwin. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Ethan Goodwin goes to Jasper Goodwin, and 10 metres out from the line here. Great field position for the Sharks. They go to Delaney, and he'd be a very safe driving Anthony Delaney because he loves the handbrake, that's for sure. Now they go to Anthony McDonald. He wants to push over here. AMAC turned on his back. I'm not sure what the answer is for the Sharks, whether they flip Delaney to 7 and let Declan O'Connell take the reins at 6. I don't have the answers actually, but Delaney's doing some funny things, and just like that, he refuses to kick in offloads to Ethan Goodwin on the last, and the Tigers have dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, they got lucky there. The Tigers just, Delaney missing a tackle right through the middle there. Just not quite the play that they needed on the last, and I don't know if they noticed it was last. Maybe they didn't with all the confusion from the bunker. But yeah, they'll be a little bit unhappy with that result. I'm sure Anthony McDonald and Brad Goodwin will be taking it out on the Tigers players running out of their own end now.
Yeah, as Murray goes to Willie Wishart. Does he have headgear as well? There's a few of them in this Tigers team, and they all seem to have orange or yellow ones.
Yeah.
Of course, we forgot to mention Mav Keller passed into the simulated abyss. He was a yellow headgear wearer. As the Tigers, Ethan Goodwin stops on an absolute dime there and still going downfield. Yeah, Mav Keller, unfortunately, gone for the Tigers, which is why Tim James has gone back to hooker. He will be missed. And now Usher goes through the middle of the field. Dangerous spot at the moment, the way these props are acting, but with his fleet footedness, is able to avoid a big hit. Drew Matthews now goes out to Anthony McDonald, and he goes straight over the top of one before he's wrestled to the ground. They're about 40 from the line. Do they want a 40-20? No, they go out to Brad Goodwin, and he goes over one as well.
Riley Murray hitting the deck.
Well, I can't actually tell you if that's Willie Wishart or Riley Murray. The way these things are going is now Hannah Hitchens is brought down about 39 metres out from the Sharks line here, so they're going to need a good kick chase here to lock the Tigers into their own half. Goes to Delaney, and that's a nice kick from him. More of them, please, Anthony. Goes down to Zach Brown, and Hannah Hitchens, a great first up tackle. Sorry, Beck Goodwin, a great first up tackle. They do look quite similar, actually, and now it's Nathan Haas running at Anthony McDonald. That's dangerous. The centres in the second row, they also seem to cop it from their props these days. Now David Barnes brought down in a good tackle. 10 minutes gone in this half wheel. Are the Tigers looking more likely, do you think?
I'm not too sure if I've seen enough from the Tigers. They are struggling to get down this other end of the field. The Sharks, the defense is coming in waves at the moment, so if they keep this up, they'll have two things. A very tired Tigers side and a very tired forward line throughout the middle defensively, so I think that they can't sustain this for much longer, but if they can, it'll be very impressive, and that will easily win them the game.
Yeah, and of course we have to wait and see how the Tigers sub shake out with Pascal off the field. As Shakhtar narrowly avoids a touchline. Is the hooker going to touch it? No. There's got to be absolutely nothing in that. Are you able to check for me, William? Who do the Sharks play next week?
I will check for you, and I'll have you an answer in about 10 seconds.
Lovely. Anthony McDonald there with a hit up. He's been big this game. Hopefully he can keep going. I'm not sure if he's going to come back on at lock now. You'd have to think so. Even with Cascal off there, you will. Hannah Hitchens runs into a two-man tackle attempt. Brought down 40-20, looking likely here. Hopefully it's not Delaney. That's who they go to. It's not a bad kick in the end. Delaney doesn't have the angle, but Eli Barnes is going to be trapped in his own half. Beats one, but Beck Goodwin brings him down nonetheless. The Tigers here, probably their best field position in a while as they go, to Nathan Haas, I told you, the centre's in the second row. Get back out to where you belong because the props have had enough, and Anthony McDonald absolutely levelled him there. Cyrus Narks now fresh on the field, goes for a bit of a dash down the right-hand side. Do you have an answer for him, William?
Yeah, big game next week for the Sharks against the bye. They will not be playing rivalry round, which actually suits them well because Jamal Kausakau just got us a bit of news. He's just got a high-grade ankle sprain. He'll have a week's rest, and he should be right for round 4. You couldn't have timed the bye any better if you're the Sharks.
Yeah, that's actually very, very lucky. I didn't know that was the case. I thought it would turn into a 2-week injury. Or is it just miss the next week? And if you have the bye, count your chickens.
Yep.
Yeah, good for the Sharks. As now Werman takes it forward. And a sin bin final warning. The Tigers here are getting quite sloppy. Who do the Tigers have next week? Because I got an inkling they might be missing a player.
They have Melbourne next week. So I wouldn't mind.
Cyrus Marks on the bench and a sin bin could be detrimental.
You know, if Barnes got sin binned or
Barnes has
Tim
been
James.
Before.
You
He
know,
got injured against the Dolphins last season, actually.
Can you
Yes,
can you
another
imagine
sin bin.
if Barnes got sin binned and Cyrus Marks still off the bench? They've got to put like Ben O'Donnell maybe on the fullback role. That would not be good.
I think he was the Queensland fullback, wasn't he?
O'Donnell.
Demando?
That was Demando.
Right, I knew there was some sort of weird left field pick there. Anyway, back to the game. Nathan Haas straight through the middle. Ethan Goodwin went for the dive tackle here. Good from Nathan Haas. Got the Tigers in a bit of field position here. They might want to just capitalise on this tired defence. Goes out to Willie Wishart, who gets the offload away to Cyrus Marks himself. He's unable to make his mark on the game quite yet. But the Tigers in good position. Tim James folded by Anthony McDonald. Everyone's copping it here now, and David Barnes going to try and push over here. Anthony McDonald, he does have the hit stick out. There's no doubt about that. They're going to go left here, the Tigers. Goes to Murray. Can he push over? There's no one around him. Riley Murray's going to score here. The captain's getting it done with about 5 minutes left in his stint. He's just dragging this Tigers team back into this contest.
Yeah, good play there from Riley Murray, and off the error of the Sharks, an unforced one at that. And they've been able to score here, the Tigers. Very happy with Riley Murray as his team. They're just signs of life now, and they could definitely come back in this one. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, he just got the mismatch there on Jasper Goulburn, who would be fresher, but just lacks the strength that you might need as a lock. We saw a bit of chat this week. Acceleration and strength apparently not needed for locks, but I would disagree. I think Riley Murray would also, the way that he manhandled Jasper Goulburn just then.
Oh, took me a second to realise what chat you were talking about, and yeah, I think that had they had a bit more strength and maybe a bit more technique in the tackle, then the Sharks potentially could have stopped that try.
They just needed someone to get around the legs.
Yes, teamwork also helps in a team sport.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep.
No? Yes?
Yep.
That's a very short kick there from Anthony Delaney. That's maybe the shortest kick I've seen in quite a while.
It's good to know he can't kick off a tee either, so at least he's consistent.
That's quite unusual, yes?
He's held there. 2 hands away.
No? Maybe?
That's quite unusual. Oh, mate, I thought it was a statement, not a question.
No, yeah.
Yes, it is quite unusual.
More than I do. Yeah, that is. Yeah,
it is quite unusual.
Just making sure I hadn't missed something. Anyway, the Tigers maybe a bit of momentum in their favour. Maybe a left to right breeze, just really stopping the ball. I'm not sure. They're going to go outside, inside here. Jasper Goulburn, unfortunately, doesn't really feel like tackling today. Eli Barnes goes straight past him. Ethan Goulburn brought into the tackle, so he's out of the kick return. They go to hell, yeah. He's kicked reasonably well tonight. And that's another good one down to Shaq the Unknown, but we saw what he's been doing all game. And there he goes again. Shaq the Unknown. Man, this man can run.
Oh, I thought Tim James was in a bit of trouble there. He was testing out the waters with the referee.
I saw it coming also.
Could have sworn I heard a little whistle blow, but no. Jeez, they got lucky there. Tim James, I mean, I wouldn't be playing with fire at this stage in the match.
Play with fire and you might get burned, Will. We'll have to wait and see what happens with the Tigers. As Declan O'Connor goes out to Ethan Goulburn, and I don't think I've seen someone step into the fullback role and just dominate like Ethan Goulburn has.
Yeah, no, he's really been a shining light in both last week's win and this week's performance so far. So I'll be interested to see whether he can make this big play late in the game. That could be the match deciding factors. That's a great kick chase. Barnes had to attack it. That's beautiful stuff there from Jasper Goulburn.
Yeah, and a nice kick there from Delaney for the first time in a while. Not sure what Barnes was doing because, that was a 7 tackle set waiting to happen. As Luke Thompson now is going to get us underway. That's
flat.
Anthony McDonald maybe in the headgear.
Where's
Still
that?
On the field.
No, where? I can't see anyone.
Right behind the ruck.
That would be Ethan Goulburn, mate, a fullback.
Of course it is. Apologies. Yeah, I was thinking Anthony McDonald comes back on a 65. What's he doing at the moment? Anyway, Delaney goes out to Daly. He's back on the field. Gets 40 minutes tonight for the first time in quite a while. He's been a good 19 minutes in play. He's going to have to pull his bootstraps up today here and have a bit of a crack because, yeah, with Kausika off the field, minutes have opened up here. And now it's Delaney goes short ball to Jasper Goulburn. And, yeah, the poor guy's been quite ineffective tonight, but that's often the case with the fresher players. I have faith that he's going to build into a handy SRL career. The pass goes behind Delaney, and this is another well-placed one. But no one contested it. Eli Barnes, gets hit high by Ethan Goulburn. A bit of feeling in that one. And maybe this momentum is just slowly starting to trickle over to the Tigers. This could be an absolute get out of jail here if they score another one.
Yeah, that was not a good tackle there. And Justice Daly, he's fresh on the field. He's just come back on. He has no excuse for making that high tackle, and that could really cost them dearly here, the Sharks.
2 minutes left here till Riley Murray exits the field, and I'm not actually sure. David Barner will come back on for them, and Anthony McDonald for the Sharks. That could be game-changing for either team. A nice run there by Tim James, and now goes to Dan the Man. He's brought down on the 50-metre line. Sorry.
It was a good
a frog in the throat. Anyway,
you okay?
You are my Ava. Yeah, I'm good now.
Spit
you
it
are
out.
my Ava. If I must. You are my Ava. He's brought down eventually before Lillard. He's tackled there by, I think that's Drew Matthews in the end. They're in range here for an attacking kick. They're lined up to the left. Perhaps a bomb out that way.
Grubber.
A grubber instead. And the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the play, I saw the vision, and the vision that I had had nothing to do. Oh, is this a high tackle from Eli Barnes? And it's a lucky it's not a held and tackle penalty because he would have been gone to the bin. They get a couple of those yet, but that's shocking.
Yeah, big hit by Justice Daly with the ball, and then Barnes said,
Attempted assassination.
I'll have your head. A bit of revenge, I think, after what Daly did to him a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah, it is a bit of karma, isn't it? It's come full circle.
And so what it does mean is that the Sharks are in good field position here. Or don't throw it away, they don't. Goes to Crimp, who's been probably unsighted this half. He had a cracker first half, and the ball's barely come to him since then. Anyway, Beck Goodwin goes to Jasper Goodwin. Oh, I would have loved to see that go to Brad Goodwin, but instead it goes to Justin Barisic, who's been also unsighted for quite a while. Now he's back on the field. Jasper Goodwin goes through a hole here. Barnes brings him down a metre from the line, but they have a chance here. Can they swing it left to their second row and get a barge over try? Instead, he goes to Barisic, but he wants a barge over try. Barisic, he's going to get over, and that could put the game just out of reach for the Tigers. Barisic, fresh on the field in that prop jersey, and he scored a great try.
Yeah, great stuff there. Justin Barisic just come back on the field and able to get underneath. I think that's Nathan Haas there. The green light here at Leichhardt Oval, and the Tigers' chances not looking good at all. Just under 15 minutes left in the match, and they will be down 10 points. If they are to try and stage a comeback, it's going to be an absolutely monumental mountain to climb.
And from memory, which may be incorrect, but I believe the Tigers started reasonably hot last season, a couple of wins in a row.
Yeah, they sure did. They had quite a few wins in a row, and they were at the top of the ladder after, I think, 3 or 4 rounds. A really solid start for them, but they just slowly drifted down as other teams got more and more used to them. And they are... I mean, they're struggling out there tonight, aren't they? They have not had the red-hot start like they had.
Yeah, what I was going to say is, going down 0-2. I might actually never done it as a captain, but maybe you have, Will. I'm not sure. Anyway, it'd be sure to be putting a different kind of pressure on the leadership group of the Tigers. Last season, they started red-hot, so they were sort of in smooth sailing for most of the season. But, not panic stations. Definitely not yet. They have a very classy team, but there's got to be a few questions asked.
Yeah, there sure has. The Sharks now, I think that they've just got to show their polish here in the last 10 or so minutes, just to get them over the line and just show that this win is a very comfortable one. They haven't got to do too much. They've just got to keep up the energy and not let go of the leash.
The leash.
Yeah, that they have leashed these Tigers.
Bit of Mike Tyson about that. It's now Declan Connell. Goes through a little hole, doesn't quite go anywhere because the fullback was still up in the line from the last tackle. But it means it's going to be, I think, Delaney to kick, which we all know is dangerous.
Huge.
Instead, Daly just takes it and goes for a bit of a run. You know what? Not the worst result. Turn the ball over on the 20, get that defensive line set, and put on some pressure.
Yeah, not a bad option. I'm not too sure if that was the planned option, though. But Justice Daly, he's a decent run. He's had a decent second stint here so far, so... I mean, just give it to him the last and see what he can do. They haven't got to show off here at all, the Sharks. They just got to, walk this in with a gritty win.
Yeah, when you're up, I actually don't mind the run on the last because it takes you out the kick return try, which we know can happen out of absolutely nowhere. So
especially with Barnes.
They won't be too... Yeah, although he's a bit tired. He just had a run there and didn't even step. So, a lot of defense for him tonight. So maybe he's going to be taken out of the equation for the remainder of this game. As now McKinnon finally gets a line break, but jumped on eventually by Declan Connell, so he doesn't really go anywhere. But he puts the Tigers in position. It's set to the right. He puts up a bomb. It's going to land about 10 metres out, exactly 10 metres out, in fact, and Usher comes down with it. Not the best kick there from Hellier.
No, he hasn't had the best night tonight, Daniel Hellier. His last couple of kicks in this attacking region have not hit the mark at all, and there's another one there. He's just losing his compass, I think, without Damien Moana. Oh, big run.
Yeah, Moana, of course, back in the 6 this week. Feeling that spot left by Hellier. We'll have to see how he goes. I think that's also a game tonight. Not 100% sure. Maybe a Monday night football game?
It's next, yeah.
Next. How exciting. Anyway, the Crimp is brought down. Goes out down to Hitchens. I saw a little lane there for them, but they couldn't quite go through. Instead, 30 metres out. They're probably going to punt here, I think, just from where Delaney's set up. And that's what they do.
Hang on.
Ian Marva is in a bit of backspace, but the poor man's been a bit tired. Not used to playing a full 80 minutes, and He's brought down eventually in a good tackle by Ethan Goodwin, but it means the Tigers once again have a bit of momentum. It's Lillard back on the field, brought down 51 out from the line. I'd love to see Amac back in the props, get him out of that lock roll because he just doesn't quite have the impact with his shoulders that he does. Now Barner breaks a couple of tackles, including that of Drew Matthews. Is Amac even back on the field at lock, or has that changed because of
I think
the whole rotation thing?
I think because of the injuries that's not happened. And take the 2. Oh no, don't actually. Oh no. Oh no. Oh jeez.
Yeah, the Tigers, they've been unconventional tonight, that's for sure.
My question is, why are you taking the 2? Because no matter what, you're gonna have to score twice. Like, unless I get a possible 8-point try, but I don't see that happening personally, Anthony. That's an interesting choice there from West.
You just call me Anthony?
Oh, Anthony, sorry. Snicko.
I'm going to put you down, brother.
Oh, jeez. Mate, with the way he's been playing tonight, I'd take it as a compliment. No?
Anyway, the Sharks going to kick off here. No, he's been playing well. I thought I was my own man. I guess not. Delaney now. I wonder if he can kick this a bit further. He does. Much better from Delaney. Straight down the throat of Samuel Lillard. And with 5 minutes left in this game, I don't see a whole lot happening. But, you know, weirder things have happened.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but I don't see it happening. Maybe if they scored a try down this other end, you know, it'd be a bit of excitement near the end of the match. But 8 points, it's just a bit of a unachievable goal, I think, for the moment at the for the Tigers. So yeah, I don't see much happening.
Both times they kick their goals, they scored tries instead. They'd actually be equal right now. As David Barner looks at a 40-20, it looks pretty good, but he doesn't get the bounce. So Ethan Goodwin cleans up, and he's tackled on first contact for about the second time tonight. He's been dynamite, Ethan Goodwin, and now the Sharks are going to be working it out of trouble. They're all offside. They got up way before that ball was played. Anyway, Jasper Goodwin, can we just get a held in tackle penalty, please?
Yes, please. Oh, no, I would hate that. No.
So is it Barisic back on at lock? Sorry, not at prop.
That's second row. Oh, come on. That was a bit long, I thought. What do you think? I thought it was a bit long in the tackle there.
Yeah, maybe. Not sure. Anyway, doesn't actually really affect me. I'd love for the Tigers to have their full complement next week. Because now Hannah Hitchens is brought down. Hannah Hitchens is second row. I think Barisic is lock. I just don't know who's playing.
No, I think Goodwin's still lock and Barisic is prop. I think.
Oh, Goodwin never subbed off.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He's been on the whole time.
Yeah, because I think of the injury, it's messed him up.
Yeah, gotcha. Funny things happen when we have injuries in the SRL.
Especially in the 41st minute.
Yeah, strange time. We did notice that he had 24 tackles in the first half, so the poor boy is just a bit tired. Old Jamal. Anyway, now, a minute and a half left in this game. What can they do? Eli Barnes, absolutely nothing, unfortunately. Brought down. Could
wrong
look at
team.
40-20 here.
Wrong team.
Sin bin, final warning. What about a sin bin? Should they get a sin bin? Does that carry over to the week after?
I can't remember what the rule book says. I'm going to go with no from memory. I'm not sure if
I feel like
if it
a
changed.
suspension, yes. An injury, no.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Odds are we won't.
They
we won't need
will. They
to
will
worry
miss
about
the
it
next
anyway.
game, regardless of if they have the bye. Yes, that rule did.
You'd
It
hate
was
to see another
changed.
held in penalty right now.
It was different
20
last
seconds
season.
left in the game.
It's changed this
Was
season.
it?
Yeah. It was fixed because I wasn't going to change it halfway through the season in season 9. And there we go.
Anyway,
No,
that's
don't worry.
game here. It's Sharks running out, 18 points to 10 winners. Very well deserved, actually. They were on top. How's that hairline? Anyway, they were on top for just about the whole game. And, yeah, they played really well. The Tigers, unfortunately, just couldn't get into the grind. As we have a look at some stats. Yeah, 25 out of 26 and only scoring 1 try for the Tigers is a real testament to the Sharks defense.
Discipline.
Sharks made 4 errors in the second half. Penalties 5-3. Yeah, not a whole lot splitting them. It was just great defense by the Sharks. And we'll look at some individual statistics now. Eli Barnes, 138 run meters, so he had 100 in the second half. Tim James, 24 tackles. Jeff Keane, 25 tackles, none missed, always good. Run meters just weren't quite there for the Fords, were they?
Nah, you can see there's a lot of lackluster in the forwards there. Barner had a good hit out, I thought. Lillard okay as well, but you know, those other players. Riley Moe playing 65 at lock, only making 70 run meters. I mean, he made a lot of tackles to be fair, but he just couldn't get the job done, and I don't know if he's the best man for the job on the 13.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch that one. Cyrus Mark, 6 runs for 45 metres. He tried to get involved when he got on the field, but just couldn't really do it. We'll look at the Sharks now. Give me Ethan Goodwin's run meters. 312.
Hang on, he's
That's
only
more than
ran
having just about a whole season.
He's ran about 30 metres in the second half then, hasn't he? How much did he had in the first half?
80. He had 230.
Oh, 230. I thought he had 280. That's my bad. But
yeah.
9 line breaks.
Drew Matthews, 9 line breaks is insane. Drew Matthews had a tackle bust in the line break with 24 tackles. Shakti Unknown, 189. And Michael Crimp, 138. Just shows how dangerous they were on the kick returns. AMAC only played the 41 minutes for 68 run meters, 10 tackles, but just about all of them were big hits. Very good to watch tonight. Justice Daly had a crack as well when he got back on the field with 4 line breaks, but couldn't really get going. Henry Hitchens did well there from the centres as well, 101 run meters. And I think that's about all I have for us tonight.
Yeah, no, good game from the Sharks. I think it was a good team effort. And Ethan Goodwin, Shaq Unknown, Michael Crimp, just those kick returns really, really outclassed the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, not wrong. Anyway, who do we have next? I think it's a good game.
Dogs v Dolphins. Monday Night Football.
Ain't that the truth? All right, we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Up Cronulla, eh?